up, world, and welcome to another edition of the Living the Dream podcast. It's your favorite day of the week. It's hump day, and it's time to get that midweek motivation. It's your motivator, your inspirator, Coach Spaulding, and as always, I want to give a huge shout out to all the listeners for all the love and the support on the podcast. I appreciate y'all. Y'all keep listening, keep downloading, y'all keep sharing. Thank y'all. All right, so let's jump right into this thing. So last week we talked about having a new year and a new mindset and what that looks like as we start the new year. Today I want to piggyback on that by talking about finishing what you started. So let me hit you with this quote real quick. Finishing last is always better than not finishing at all. I'm going to say it again just in case you missed it. Finishing last is always better than not finishing at all. Now, let me tell you something. This is especially deep for me because when I was in college, when I was going to get my bachelor's degree, like a lot of my friends graduated within 4 to 5 years. Some of them even graduated within 3 years. But it took me 8 years to get that thing right. It took me 8 years to finish, but guess what? I finished. It don't matter whether I finished last. It don't matter whether I finished first. The point of the matter is I finished. And guess what? I got the same privileges and the same opportunities as the ones that finished before me. So the time period don't matter. What matters is getting it done. And that's what I'm asking for you today. I'm asking you to finish what you started. If you started school to get a degree, finish it. I don't care how long it takes. It took me 8 years to get a 4-year degree. If it takes you 9 years to get a 4-year degree, I don't care. Finish it. Get it done. If you're a senior, finish it. You already at the finish line. All you got to do is keep going. Don't stop. Finish what you started. Finishing won't always be easy, guys. Things will happen. But if you follow these principles, you'll be able to have a better understanding on how to get through the things that you need to get through. Starting is sweet, but finishing is much sweeter. Oh man, I'm going to say that again. Starting is sweet, but finishing is much sweeter, which brings me to my first principle of the day. Guys, we have to make a commitment and execute. You gotta make a commitment and execute. I got an old quote, but a good one, guys. Commitment is staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you said it in has left. I'm gonna say that again, man, just in case you missed it. Commitment is staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you said it in has left. When you express what you want, the mood you said it in won't be the same when it's time to execute on a consistent basis. I'm just being real. Like the mood that you said it in, once it's time to put action to those words, once we get in the thick of the process, I guarantee you won't feel the same way you felt when you initially said that. Like I get kids telling me all the time, Coach, I want to be a football player. Coach, I want to be an entrepreneur. Coach, I want to be an engineer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. When it's time to commit to the process of being a football player, lifting weights, running laps, doing drills, and competing in tournaments, you won't be as pumped up about the process 1 or 2 weeks after it started. That's why you have to embrace the process and keep the end game in mind. You have to play the end game when it comes to finishing what you started. You have to execute. You got to make that commitment and execute. That's the only way you're going to finish. So principle number 2, you got to see yourself at the finish line. You got to be able to see yourself at the finish line. This is where I want you to use your imagination. I remember as a ball player on my way to the game, we had to be quiet the whole way. It didn't matter how far we were traveling, whether it was a home game or an away game. We were told to use that time to visualize ourselves making plays, scoring touchdowns, turning the ball over. We had to visualize the plays that we wanted to make. And we used that time to visualize what the outcome could be and what we did to make that happen. This is the same thing I want you to do about your dreams and your goals. This is the same thing I want you to do about your future. Take a minute and close your eyes and see yourself as a football player. See yourself as an entrepreneur. See yourself as a doctor. See yourself as a lawyer. See yourself as your dream. You have to be able to visualize it. Because like I said last week, if you can't see it, then you can't achieve it. So you have to be able to see your way at the finish line, which brings me to principle number 3. Guys, you got to remember why you did it in the first place. You got to remember why you started in the first place. This is the most critical step in accomplishing anything in life, any goal, any dream. You have to have a why. It puts things back into perspective when you have a why. When you have a why, you understand that no matter what happens on your journey to your destination, your why is the only thing that will keep you going. Your why is the only thing that's going to make you run those laps. Your why is the only thing that's going to make you study. Your why is the only thing that's going to make you do that homework. Like, I'm just a firm believer that there's a reason for everything. I remember talking to one of my football players who I coach to in the NFL right now. In high school, I used to ask him, man, I'm like, why you work so hard? Like, why you grind so hard? He said, I'm just trying to get my mama out the hood. I'm just trying to buy a house for my mama. I'm trying to get my mama to live better than where she living right now. And in every situation that has something to do with academics, that has something to do with going on the football field, this guy kept his why close to his heart. This guy kept his mom in his chest. And because his mom was his why, and his why was so strong, it kept him focused on finishing what he started. It kept him focused on finishing what he started. He finally accomplished his dream because he understood it, why he started in the first place. Like, you got to go through your go-through. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but what I'm saying is, if your why ain't at the forefront of your mind, you're going to stop. And it's going to be hard for you to finish what you started because you don't have a why. So I want you to do the same thing, and whatever it is you do, I want you to keep your mind on the end game. You're going to go through some stuff, but if you have a strong why, then it's easier to get through your go-through and finish what you started. So do me a favor, make a commitment and execute. Once you make that commitment, see yourself at the finish line. Visualize yourself walking in your success. And last and most importantly, remember why you started in the first place. I tell you from experience, if your why is strong, you got a great chance of finishing what you started. It's your motivator, your inspirator, Coach Spaulding, saying have a great rest of the week and make the rest of your life the best of your life.